Hi, my name is Evie Birdsell and welcome to my Unit H21 vlog, detailing a step-by-step record of my individual contributions as a performer or creative throughout this project. During week 1, I participated lots, mainly in the marketing front, as I had a fracture in my foot and couldn't actively participate in rehearsals myself. This meant that while others that are part of the marketing team were dancing or busy doing other things, I was sat in rehearsals collecting footage for them of each choreographer, as well as helping each choreographer get the footage they need for their own vlogs. I made sure that I sat in every rehearsal I was needed for, as I wanted to show my commitment to the choreographers to their pieces. And I would then not miss out on as much when I have recovered. It will be much easier to just jump straight back into rehearsals knowing what I'm doing. During week 2, I focused on making sure I know exactly what I'm doing in order to return back to rehearsals, being it my last week sat out due to my injury, before being cleared by the doctors. I made sure that I was actively present in each rehearsal and taking notes of the pieces I need to learn and whereabouts I am placed in them, where I'm on and off, etc. I also took videos from the back at the end of each session to give myself the resources to learn and know what I need to know coming back into rehearsals next week. This is an important contribution as to help everybody move along quickly with the creative process in limited time. It is important that everyone is prepared and knows what they are doing at all times. There is no time to be going back and individually teaching things. During week 3, I spent lots of time going over and making sure I know exactly what I am doing for each choreographer's piece I am in. This took lots of practice in my own time, examples being while the choreographers were working with another group, I was never resting but going over what I need to know, and where I need to be in order to speed up the process for each choreographer and save them from having to reteach each section simply to catch me up. I also think this is an etiquette thing, and it is a rule that we decided as a team at the beginning of the process that if you are not physically participating in sessions, you must catch up on everything that you miss in order to keep the ball moving at a good pace for everybody. Following through with this makes the process fair for everybody. During week 4, I contributed to the wider picture of the show by helping each choreographer alongside Scott to cut their music. I joined him when he was unsure at the beginning in a session we had free by helping him decide what sounded good and taking notes from the choreographers of what they would like the music to sound like and where. This makes the choreographers' jobs much easier as they only have to be worried about getting their pieces taught and clean and the music will be provided for them. On top of this, I also worked efficiently with my fellow cast members, and during Grace's rehearsal for The Chain, where we were placed, was not convenient for either me or Jasmine, so as opposites we made the executive decision to swap, bettering the piece without disrupting the choreographer. During week 5, I was focused mainly on rehearsals, so as to help the bigger picture, I took it upon myself to practice the steps on the side and help anyone who may be struggling as well. While the choreographers were working with other groups to make sure I am confident with the choreography that is having to be taught quickly as we are now under a slight time crunch. This has also meant that I've been working hard outside of rehearsals when choreographers have sent small groups out for space while they work with another small group. Instead of resting and sitting down and going on my phone like is easy to do, I've been using the dance captains well and going over choreography with them, as well as drinking water, etc. to ensure I have the most minimal disruption in the actual rehearsal and know what I am doing at all times. During week 6, I decided to focus again on working on the music with Scott. Grace came to us to let us know that she was struggling with cutting her music, and when me and Scott got another free lesson, we worked on this together. She was struggling with making certain transitions smooth, and so we added transitional music as well as blending the cuts better. This isn't an easy job, so I used my musical knowledge to better the project as a whole and to help out the choreographers who seem visibly stressed at the minute. I decided that instead of just helping them, it would be better to remove that stress completely. During week 7, I thought that it would be the best idea, as marketing was struggling for footage of some choreographers, to send over the videos that I captured at the time I was injured. This is helping in the bigger picture, as I believe that sometimes our jobs are easier said than done when we are working hard in rehearsals. So whenever I have had the chance to help anyone out, either by filming or helping with music or post ideas, etc., I would happily step in and help with these. I've set myself the target next week to add more creative ideas when in rehearsals to help choreographers when they are stuck, to push my confidence in a group setting. During week 8, I focused on conquering my social anxiety and voicing my ideas in a group setting. An example of me doing this was in Grace's piece rehearsal. There was a section where she needed minimal movement but was under pressure, so asked for any ideas. I gave her my idea for that section, and it ended up being used in the final product of the piece. This was a proud moment for me, as I struggle when it comes to social situations and how I am perceived. However, in order to do well in this unit, I needed to do this, so it was a proud moment for me. As well as this being used in the final product of the piece, this made me feel good, as it was my idea, and now I feel more confident to continue doing this in the future. During week 9, I probably did the most towards the greater progress of the project. On top of my normal role of costume, I practiced regularly when I wasn't being used, and I voiced my ideas when it came to spacing. I was helpful when it came to the tech runs. In pieces where the choreographers were unsure, I would give them small directions, such as in Harley's piece, where each small triangle should try to stay in the spotlights to avoid being in darkness. And by knowing exactly where I need to be at all times, for when there are issues in spacing, I can help by being where I'm meant to be and knowing where the people around me are meant to be as well. Here is the section I'm talking about in Harley's piece, where there's 3 triangles and we end up in spotlights. As you can see, it looks effective when we're all in the spotlight and not in the darkness. I was particularly helpful when it came to making sure everyone arrives on stage in time. Although I was in every other piece for the first half, meaning I had a lot of quick changes, in the second half I was only in one piece. In order to be helpful, I got into this costume in the interval, and I was ready to help everyone side of stage in their own quick changes for the second half. Specifically, I helped the tap girls getting into their outfits by having their clothes ready and tying their tap shoes for them, as well as their ties. I also helped Maddie get ready for her solo by running around the back and helping her get her tights on quickly, as that is quite difficult, and bringing her water. After this, I helped Beth get dressed for her Latin solo. This was hard, as her dress is very heavy and very expensive. I let her step into her dress and gently pulled it up and fastened it while she got her shoes on. I then handed her her mic and her clipboard and coat, and she was ready to go on with a quick sip of water. This is important, as quick changes are very hard to do on your own, and this helped the project by making sure everyone got on stage on time, keeping the show looking professional. To conclude, I'm very proud of how myself and this year group have pulled together to better this project as a whole. Each person's role was just as important as the other. However, I'm confident that the reason we managed to pull off such a professional looking performance was because we worked as a team. As cringe as this sounds, each person's professionalism and selflessness to step up to each other, even when we didn't necessarily need to, is what got us to the place we ended in. I believe that a little help each week, whether that be personal or in public, added up from each person, and mine and everyone else's teamwork was what helped us to create the project that we did. Small things like practicing every single person's piece, regardless of how we felt about them at the time, whenever we had the chance, was what led to this performance being what it was. On top of giving ideas and helping others, even when it was a job that we didn't need to do, overall came together, and I'm proud of what we have created. I worked well individually and with others. I helped Scott with the music. I gave choreographers ideas as well as help when they needed it with tech. And I helped backstage to create the performance we had and string everything together. I am proud of what I and we have accomplished. Thank you for listening to my H21 vlog.